Hello, Mrs. Erin Troy. Thank you so much again for agreeing to do this interview for us. The first question I would ask you is to introduce yourself, your job, title, Bikur Cholim, your family background, your education, any previous volunteer work that you did, and also what led you to work for Bikur Cholim? Like what in your life made you come to this point? And also, why do you feel like you're suited to your job, and what talents do you have that you feel fit the criteria of the job in Bikur Cholim?
Okay, first of all, my official title here is Intake Coordinator at Bikur Cholim. Bikur Cholim, actually, the literal translation means visiting the sick. Originally, Bikur Cholim was started as an organization helping the sick, and many times the elderly comes under that very large umbrella of the sick people. So my background is I've actually been a teacher for quite a few years. And after a while, I stopped teaching and was on a little hiatus, as they say. And different life experiences that happened in my life, personal tragedies and personal experience, led me to Bikur Cholim, where I felt that I wanted to give to others. And giving to others gives you a lot of satisfaction, a lot of self-satisfaction, and makes you realize, how lucky you are when you see the problems and trials of other people. And I've been working at Bikur Cholim for quite a few years already. Um, and it's quite a family working here. It's really a family environment.
Okay. When did the organization start, and who started it? What need was it created to fill? Um,
The organization started, I believe, in the 1950s. It was started by a group of women, actually, who were Holocaust survivors, who, after their lives were totally shattered by Hitler, they made their way to Canada, and they found each other, and they felt a great need to help people in the community who were really alone and isolated. And it started a lot with helping out the sickly and the elderly, and they really took things. It was they really looked after themselves, cooking by themselves for people, visiting other sickly, taking them out to appointments. It was kind of like a little family, and that's how it actually started.
okay. And what services does Speaker Home provide today? Do they fill the physical needs of the people, the spiritual needs, the social needs?
Well, Bikur Cholim basically fulfills, I would say, physical needs of our clients as well as emotional, spiritual needs. We're really like an all-in-one organization. Physical needs, where we help our elderly people with meals. We provide meals for them. We help them find caregivers if necessary. We advocate for them a lot, going through the government systems, because that could be very, very complicated, and you have to know how to deal with government institutions and all programs. So we really hold their hand and help them navigate through the system. We take them to medical appointments. We provide company for them socially. We have volunteers going in to visit them. We also have programs for the elderly. We have two wonderful clubs that are run twice a week, where we pick up the elderly lit people. We take them to the program. They're given lunch there. They have a wonderful program every single time, and we bring them home. So I would say we really encompass everything: their social needs, their emotional needs, and their physical needs.
Wow, it really sounds impressive.
It is, actually.
Yeah.
It really is.
um, just maybe describe a little bit your duties at Baker Home. Like, what do you do each day? Some challenges that might come up trying to help people. Maybe give a short example of something that came up that was very hard for you to deal with.
So I have to say that every day at Bikur Cholim is really a new adventure. It's never boring, because every day brings new challenges. We do have the, I would say, normal run-of-the-mill elderly person who needs just an extra visit, is lonely, but is doing quite well and is looked after properly. Either she has family in town who helps out, or he or she, and they have a caregiver in place, or they're in a good nursing home, and they're surrounded by people, and they just need us for extra little bit of attention. And that's basically an easy type of a setup, but easy client. But usually most of our clients, things are much more complicated. And every day we are faced with different challenges. So for example, we have a wonderful lady who we service. She's in her high 80s. She's 88, sharp as a whip, full of personality, and really a pleasure to be around. However, the older she gets, the more stubborn she gets, the more difficult she gets to deal with. So as far as accepting help, she always refuses because she feels that giving in to help is taking away her freedom, and she's afraid to lose her freedom, and she's afraid to grow old, and that could be a big problem because she desperately needs the help. She's having difficulty walking by herself. She can't bathe herself. She can't look after her apartment. She can't clean. And when I went to meet her, she was basically living alone, on her own, not dressed, could barely get out of bed, and all because she refused to get the help that she can get if she would like to. And even the government agencies, for example, we call it CCAC, our Community Care Access Center, closed the file on her so many times because she just refused any type of help. So that is a challenge for us. We have to convince her that this is a good thing and nobody's going to take her away and lock her up anywhere. And we had a crisis situation where I was called to the hospital because she was taken there, and she actually gave Bikur Cholim's name. She gave my name. A social worker called me up. We went to the hospital because she had fallen and she had fractured a rib, and she had to stay in the hospital for quite a few weeks. She was very, very afraid, and from there she had to be transferred to rehab. And every stage was just a challenge to convince her that we're not going to kidnap her and she's going to be okay. And she didn't want to go. She was so afraid. So it meant being with her and sending in the volunteers who she knows every day to visit her and to really hold her hand and be with her, you know, through every stage of her recuperation. And finally, she did enter a nursing home. She seemed relatively happy there. And one day, one of the social workers from the nursing home called me to say that she had basically disappeared. She picked herself up and left. And that's one of our challenges.